And hello.
Hello.
Hi. How do you pronounce your name?
Faiza.
Faiza. Hello, Faiza.
Yes.
Welcome to Galactic Productions. And thank you so much for agreeing to do this. So what I'd like
Thank you, Sharon.
is just introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you are.
Okay. Yeah. My name is Faiza Egge. I'm originally from Kenya.
Yes.
I moved to Finland in 2008. So I have been almost 11 years in Finland. I came here through study.
Yes.
I got a scholarship in the university here.
Yes.
I am from a small town called Narok. And I went to primary school there, and I also went high school, and that's how I met with your colleague Fabricia.
Yes.
We were in the same high school in Maasai Girls.
Yes.
Then after that, it happened that I didn't go straight away to the university. I am from a single mother who raised me, so I tried politics. I tried to be a councillor in 2007. I don't remember very well.
Yes.
And then it didn't work out. I was not elected, thank God. And then I tried some small business in Kenya. My mom had some shops and something like that, so I was selling milk and that kind of thing. Then I think that maybe I just grow up a little bit, and then I think that now it's time to go to the university and do something with my life, because I was the firstborn, and my younger sisters were all of them. They had already proceeded to Nairobi to colleges and doing something. Yeah.
Yes. So you were the eldest, but you're the one who was left with mom.
Yeah, maybe I like that little bit of Narok, hustling small town, something like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Okay. No, just ask.
When you went to Finland, yeah?
Yes.
You went there straight to university in Finland.
Yes. I applied to many universities. I applied in Australia. I applied also in Kenya. I was accepted in more university to study law. Yes. And I also applied in Finland. But the reason I chose Finland is that they gave me scholarship to study. And then the funny thing is that I studied something that I am opposite of who is my God. I mean, people don't understand that how you could do this public health, because many thought that I should do law or politics or this kind of things, because I was so passionate about the whole time, my whole young life.
What did you do at university?
I did a degree in public health.
Okay.
So it was a 4-year study.
Yes.
And it was not so easy, because I am a very complex human being. It started to feel like I wanted to defend my rights, but in any way, it was a good opportunity. I was able to graduate.
Yes.
And when I graduated, I worked as, because my degree was a double degree. It was a registered nurse and public health. So I did a little bit work for the city of my town in Kokkola. It's a very small town. It's a population of about 30,000 or more.
That's a very small town.
No, I think it is more than that. Maybe 70,000 or something. More than 50,000 at least. But it's a smaller town if you think with Narok.
It's true. It is a small town compared to any sort of bigger town. In most places in the world, that is a small town.
So I worked for the city. They had given me a job.
Yes.
So I worked briefly with them when I graduated. But but when I went there, when you think that when you go to Europe and think that, okay, I am now in Europe, life will be good, I will get money, I can support my family and do all these things. It's not really like that, because in European country, and especially in this Scandinavian, every country, I was thinking that when I go to Finland, it's an English-speaking country, but it was a Finnish-speaking country. Yeah, so the language was a bit of a big barrier, and you have to learn a new language, you
Yes.
know. And you have to think that I have been out of school. When I finished my high school, I have been at least 3 years
Yes.
or 4 years out of school.
Yes.
So of course, my head was used to just this hustling life, you
Yes.
know. So okay, so of course the study in the beginning was a bit not easy, but the system is a bit much easier. It allows student opportunity to succeed, because you don't have to remember everything you have been taught for 4 years like in high school.
Yes.
The exams are set in a way that after just a small course you are doing an exam and you
Yes.
pass. So it is compared, not so complex. Like
you know, you do it,
yeah.
you leave it. Not like
Yes.
you do it 4 years later, I don't remember, I have to learn Pythagoras theorem, I have to learn Boyle's law, and then they test me for everything in one exam. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very that is true. That is, I think, what is a disadvantage. We compared it with Kenyan and education system. But anyway, the job side was very difficult in the beginning. If you cannot speak the language, no one will hire you.
Of course.
And it's a small town, and you can count how many foreigners are there. So
yes.
I don't want to say that it is a racist town, but it is not so also too friendly with foreign. At least now they are trying to open up all the time, and I'm working with them all the time. But of course they should do more opening up to give job to foreign students and also refugees who come here. It's a very small town compared to very big cities who are more young people.
Yes.
I come from a conservative town.
Yes.
The American says a conservative. It's more of like farmers, like all the elderly, older population there, and where we grow food. So compared to, for example, Helsinki, where there's a majority of young people, so more liberal and so easy to open up and can speak the English and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So of course, it was very challenging. I remember I didn't want to call my mother and say that, hey, can you send me money? Because I know that even that she could send me, their income was so little, and we are 4 of us. And she has to pay university and all. So I thought that, okay, let me also a little bit hustle there. So my first job I worked was collecting bottles. That you know that now there's this recycling of the what is it called now? My English is so bad, I don't anymore remember.
No, so recycling.
It's
so basically,
more plastics.
The plastic.
Yeah, and then you get paid a little bit when every bottle is worth something like 20 shillings or 10 shillings when you recycle it. So I was collecting that on weekend, because Finland can be a very depressing. They drink a lot of alcohol like Russians. So because it's very cold. So they are really drinking. So it was easy to get those bottles and recycle them. And also another thing was that I went to a pizzeria and I asked for a job, and they said, oh, this young Muslim, we can give her, but it was some sort of like a black job. It is not supposed to go like that if you follow the law. They were paying like in cash and very little money, but it was very big money for me if someone is paying me 200 shillings in an hour.
Yes.
So, but many people say that you should not do that job, but I was thinking that it's better than nothing. If I'm getting and if I'm working 10 hours and I'm getting 2,000 shillings in a day, I can be able to pay my rent in the end of the month anyway with this money and food. And I don't need to ask my family to
survive.
Yeah. So that was it in the beginning. I did all kind of job to do and to somehow succeed, and to not want to ask at home, because it put them so much pressure having to send someone and also support themselves there.
Yes.
So when I graduated, I worked a little bit for the city. When I started to work for the city, of course, the salary and the payments and the allowances are so good, because it is legally paid, and you can easily, a registered nurse can get up to 200,000 and more in a month, and other rights. So what happened was that I was working, but I did not get the contract, like long-term contract. And then if you don't get good long contract, then you are not able to get your visa, working visa, and your path to citizenship takes longer. You understand? So I had a crazy idea. Why don't I open my own company?
Yes.
Okay. And everyone thought that, what? Are you gonna really open a company in the healthcare and this kind of thing? I said that yes, let's try. I went to this business organization in Finland. Finland, one good thing about Finland is that and even there's so many bureaucracy, the system somehow work. There's a lot of organization and government agents that supports every different organization. So if you want to, for example, start a business and you make a very good business plan, then you win something called Startti Raha. It's like some kind of free money to start your business. So I decided to do that. I spent maybe 10 to 16 weeks writing a business plan. I was thinking that I'm going to give up. When is this business plan ready? But as soon as this was ready, the Ministry of the Economy in my town, they went look at it. They thought that this is a good business plan. If you think it's viable, then we are giving you money. And it was about something like 6,000 euros in the beginning for 6 months. This is the money that you're given that you don't need to return it back. But you are not also allowed to work in any other organization or any other company except your company.
You just have to build your own business.
Yeah, and it was little money, but of course, you can also apply for some subsidies in the government. But if you apply for these subsidies in the government, like house assistant and all that, this later comes to affect your citizenship because they will be like, why were you depending on our system? So anyway, it went like that, I got it and I had to quit. And so the money was a little bit tight because you are earning about 200,000 in a month and more. And now you have this 6,000 for 6 months and you don't get it at once. You get like about every month something in a month, in a monthly.
So when you set up your business, you studied public health, which means that you could have worked with any organization. Yes? Why did you decide to work with the elderly?
I actually, I thought, you know, that in Scandinavian, the population of the elderly is higher than the younger people.
Aging population,
Yes. So I think that for me, it was just something what is the business realistic. I could have worked even with schools. I could work with the normal working group, but the bigger market was in the elderly and the disabled when I was thinking about it. And so I think that was something that was needed. But remember, there was so many companies already, more than 10 in this small town.
Oh, wow.
You know, including the government. You know, and usually the healthcare system works so good because that it is the government who provide these services, and only when they cannot provide, then they're buying this, outsourcing these services to private companies. So in the when I started, it wasn't so easy. Of course, I got all this free media. I was in the television, in the radio, in the newspaper in my town, a foreign Kenyan company. Everyone was thinking, how is it gonna work and everything. I got all this free advertisement. That is true. But then how to find a customer, that was the challenge, that how to convince these old people that I have the same school.
A foreigner.
Yeah, why me, you know? And it took a lot of work. It really took a lot of work before I can find the first customer. And they tested me. They will say that, no, we don't need these nursing services from you, but what about cleaning? Can you do cleaning? And I was like, yeah, sure. If you're going to pay it, why not? So they really tried. And if I was that person who says that, no, this is not my schooling and I have not gone to do this degree to come and do cleaning or washing windows, then I will not be where I am. I just decided that it's all right. I'm going to take anything, whatever they give. So And I remember that the one thing that I am grateful for was that somehow the system was like this business organization that who gave this money to me. I could be able to get their advices. Until now, I can make an appointment. It's free of charge.
Yes.
I can, because I remember when I got one of my first customer, it was from another town very near to me, about 40-minute drive. And we discussed the price. They agreed I can take care of this disabled man. Yes. It was like this, that they told me, where's the contract to sign? I have never made a contract before, no. Especially in Finland. So I had to run and to say to them, how to make a contract, and then we started to go through and we make it like everything was learning like a baby, you know. It was everything you have to learn, and I had not really, to be honest, I had not really think through what it is requiring to become a business person. But I'm grateful anyway.
Yes. Yeah. You say that previously when you were in Kenya, you run small businesses, but in Kenya, things generally run very informally. So it's like, even if you have to take care of somebody, there's no contract. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So even if, for example, I'm a therapist, and most of the time when people come to my clinic and I say to them, fill this form for me, they say, there's no need for that. Here, we don't do that. I'm like, no, I understand that you might not do it, but Kenya is quite developed now. And people are getting to the point where if something was to go wrong, somebody can sue you, just like in America or England, you see. But now, it's the same as you. You did things very informally here, and previously you had run some kind of business, but now you're in a country where everything is by the book. Everything has protocol. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So you find yourself now, but would you say that in business, mentorship, like you had, is very important? Because without your mentors, where would you have been? Who would you be running to in a foreign country where already your business is facing a lot of negativity, even from your own people, and a lot of people are fighting you back every time. So it's difficult already to set up a business. But if you didn't have mentorship, then you would have had it harder, would you say?
I think that is very true, that if I did not have this support system and this mentorship and all these places to get this and advices and all the time guideline, I will not be where I am. And I also, one thing I will say is that one thing I learned was that, and I have said it a lot of speeches to a lot of events and gatherings, that if you want to become a good entrepreneur, you have to do what you're good at and leave the other things for professionals.
Exactly.
Yes. I have my bookkeeper who is handling the finances. I have the office. I have the nurses. I don't want to do things I don't know how to do it.
And also, it's not just things you don't know. Sometimes it's actually things you don't enjoy, because the things you don't enjoy take you longer, and they take your time away from actually doing things that you enjoy to do, that you're more efficient at, that will bring you more money to the organization.
That is true, and I can sleep well at night, not knowing that I owe some tax or something and I will go to jail and this kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I let the people who have studied for this to do this work, and I can be at peace, and I know that things are run in a professional way. Even if it costs more, it is safer, and you get all the support and the company.
I always say a good accountant, a good lawyer is worth all the money that you pay them, because number one, as you say, they save you a lot of money in the long run, in terms of if something went wrong and you already knew where you stood within the law, you see, you're covered. If something, if the tax office came to you and said, look, you did not know, you say, no. I have everything here. My accountant has worked it out. You know that you're on the right side of the law. You see, even in a place like Kenya, I encourage people all the time, get an accountant, get a lawyer where necessary, but definitely an accountant, because an accountant will show you where to cut costs, will show you which things you can deduct. And that's the biggest thing in a business. Because if you know what you can deduct, someone like you, if you know that my fuel money, I can deduct. If you don't know, you don't take it off. Because as a self-employed person, there are so many things you can deduct. I know that in my profession, you can deduct uniform, shoes for work, all of that. You see? But if you don't know, if you don't have an accountant, you will pay for all these things out of pocket. So therefore, you don't improve your bottom line.
Yeah, I think that you have to spend money to really get this money.
Exactly.
That is the right. Yes. And I am glad for that. And remember also, this is a foreign country and everything is in Finnish. So no matter how much you think you want to learn and you want to do this, you really cannot do, because really people go to study and you'll never understand everything that needs to be done. So my company, when I started, it was like a sole proprietorship. It was in 2012.
Okay.
Now it's a corporate. And it is because of all the time the advisors of the company, what is good for the taxes now, what needs, how to turn it later.
Exactly.
And of course, things like calculating salary. I don't know. I don't want to learn. Let someone else take care of that. So when I started, I was alone. But now I have at least nine, almost 10, sometimes employee working with me.
Yes.
And we work in this town and all the small town around me. We work with disabled. We work with elderly people. And we are somehow like the only company who's multi-linguistic company that it's not only the Finnish nurses, that we also have people from Vietnam, Nepal, and we have some Kenya. We have people who can speak also from Sudan, because even that Finland doesn't accept this, it is just that multiculturalism is all the time growing, and people are moving in and people are moving out, and we have this untapped market that I was thinking that in the next 20 years, there is a lot of foreigners who, when they will need healthcare and who are not, who cannot speak the language, they will need someone with that.
Of course.
That skills will be needed.
It's not just that. It's like the world has become a global village. The world is so small now that we can't afford to lock ourselves in our bubbles and pretend that nothing is happening that is going to come and disturb this bubble of ours.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think it's about time the West realizes that their destabilization of Africa is what brings Africans to their shores. You see, we're very happy in Africa. We're well developed, but the fact that they keep plundering and taking our resources for very cheap is the reason why we cannot stay in our countries.
Yeah, I think that we really need good policies, and I think that we really need good system that respects law, and we want to help and do the right things the right way, and take care of one another, because now, for example, when I have become stable in my company, I realized that, and that's not enough, and I got into politics here, you know, and I am elected councillor of my town now.
Very good.
So I also want to change what is happening here in my town. You know, I want to change the way they think about foreigners. I want to say that we are trying to say all the time that, you know, why we come here, we need jobs, why job is so important, and it's a best way to integrate, and this kind of things. You know, it is nice that they have given me this kind of like, okay, you have worked hard, but I know that there's so many foreigners like me who have worked hard and want a chance to live their dreams and life to be easy. And when these kinds of like visa process and also finding job is so difficult, that you can study something like IT and you cannot get a job in your field, that is terrible. And Finland, because it's a older generation are more than younger generation, it will affect if we're using this good professional or good working group that have been given free study or scholarship to study, and then they move to other developed country.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So those are things that we have really tried to do. I am in a Green Party. I am elected in the Green Party.
Yes.
Yes, but we are so little. We are just 2 members now who are elected. You remember, we are from a conservative area.
Yes.
Last year, or was it earlier this year, was this parliamentary election. I was a candidate. I did not win, but it was a good practice to practice. It is because it's more of a bigger region and you need more bigger numbers.
Yes.
And just build a little bit of portfolio. Next year, we are going for municipal election after every 4 years.
Yeah.
So let's hope for the best. Yeah. But I have
going to do amazing, because already, you know, when I read your story, I literally, I had tears in my eyes, because I looked at your journey and I thought how brave you must be, because you have to be brave to come from Narok, to go to Finland, to set up your business, to go into politics in a country whose language you did not even speak before you went there. You see what I mean? So yes. I felt so inspired just by reading your story. And I remember your story that I read was about you winning an award, you know?
Yes.
For your entrepreneurship. So can you just tell me, please, the thing, because obviously you stopped working, you went into business. It was so hard, and it is still so hard, but you stuck with it. What are the advantages for you of running your own business, of being your own boss, of being an entrepreneur? What are the advantages for you?
I think that I realize I'm a very idealistic person. Yes. I want to do things the certain ways. I want to affect things the certain ways. Yes. And when I was working with elderly people with the city, I felt like, you know, majority of these elderly people are lonely, and the system, the bureaucracy somehow is so strict. It doesn't have this warmth that we have as foreigners, like we can from Kenya and all that we can have this time to smile and we can have this time to talk. Life is so busy that there's not that time to really breathe in and do some things that you really love and give something that you can really change someone's life. It's all about just work and the payment and the time. Everything is so strict, and I wanted to change that. And there was no way I could change it that when I was working for anybody. Yes. Now, when I have my own company, I can make those small changes. Sometimes, yes, it affects the finances, but at least I can do things that I feel like is good and I love, and I am changing the world. Yes. I have an opportunity to make this company so big. I have opportunity to grow this company in other town. I have been asked, but I don't want to, because I feel like what I have is so good, and I know all my customer and I see them as often as possible, and yes. I am making a difference, and they're happy, and because think about some 80 years or 90 years old man who maybe hasn't seen so much of a black person and now has chosen, I want a black company to take care of me. That's true. Know, that speaks a lot of volume. And when you send a nurse and you send, for example, a Finnish nurse, sometimes they will tell you, where's these black girls? Where are they? So it's a good thing, and yes. that this kind of people are empowering us to yes to do the same thing and finish, and they are expecting more sometimes. So I think that one thing I'll tell people is that that a lot of young people who want to run to business is also about patience. 100%. If I wanted to give up this company, I would have given up long time ago. Yes. Because I had to go through so many things to make it where it is. It was not so easy in the beginning, even when you see how much we made in 2012 and how much we are making now. It's yes. about patiently growing and patiently working hard. I used to work sometimes 14 hours in a day. Yes. I will leave home 5 o'clock. I will come maybe even midnight back. Yes. You know, I almost had a depression at some point because I was not sleeping well. And anytime I could have stopped. I am a citizen of Finland. I can stop right now because you don't have this on time. It's not like Kenya that you can, when you close business, you close. When you're businessman, you're responsible for your customer, for your employees, 24 hours. They are calling you anytime of the day and of the night, and you must have. They're expecting that you are doing solution. In Finland, it's not like in Kenya that when you can just tell an employee do like this. The employee has so much equal rights and can decide that no, this is my pastime work. I am not doing that, and there's nothing you can do. So it is also about that. This passion is very, very important when you're growing a company, and also it's about that running your own company also gives you an advantage to decide what you want to do and how to do well what you're good at. You know, compare that in your working, it just needs a lot of discipline, you know, when how to spend money well and what are the ways to invest and put it to the company for the company to grow. In Finland, when it is a corporate company, this is not your money and this is not your property and these are not your cars. You only get these dividends in the end of the year, but these things belongs to the company. That even if you own 100%, you have to buy it from your company if you want it back.
That's it.
You know, that is a very, very funny system.
The thing is, even in Kenya, people start businesses like that. And anywhere in the world, because I think a corporate is a corporate and the rules are very similar around the world. But you find that in a place like Kenya and Africa generally, these rules are more lax. There's no real policing of it. So therefore people lack discipline because it is discipline. If you know that this belongs to my company, I sell food. I know that if I sell fish, which I do actually, I sell fish. Today, I want to eat fish. If my fish is 200 shillings, I have to take 200 shillings out of my pocket and put it in the company's pocket. I can't just eat fish because the company bought it. It's not me. Even if you're a sole trader, you take 10,000 shillings today and start your business. That 10,000 shillings is the business, not Sharon. So if I want to eat fish today, if I want to eat vegetables today, and that's what my company sells, I have to take 300 shillings and put it in the company's pocket. Because otherwise, what will happen is you will take today 200 shillings. Tomorrow you'll take 300. The next day you take 200, 500, blah, 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 until you have no more working capital. And then your business falls. And that is how many businesses fall. I owe someone money. I'm going to sell the car. The car does not belong to you. It belongs to the company. Just because nobody is looking doesn't mean that the company is not going to fall because you sold the company car because you owe someone 10,000 shillings.
Yeah, that is true. I agree that we discipline is very important in a company. You have to learn what is good for the company and what you are entitled to, but you have to also remember that this is a small baby. You have to feed the baby. You have to take care of it all the time so that the baby grows to big as how you want. And it's very good that you can also do a lot of research before rushing into a market that you really don't understand. I would have started any kind of company, but my professional was and my company is the same thing. You know, basically I will have done something for the hospital, what I'm doing right now in my company. So at least I understand the healthcare system because I went 4 years to study it. And I went to study master, but I have never graduated from that. There was no really time for it.
Don't worry, you'll finish it one day.
Yeah, but think about that if I went to a restaurant business or something that I really don't understand and then you have to learn anew. It has really helped me because I understand the nursing and the care and all that. So that makes it easy because I understand what services are needed and what is the requirement when you're delivering this kind of services. So I always say that stick to what you know. If you have studied IT and you think you're you understand IT, then do something in IT. Don't go and start something you have no clue, and then you end up being a bankrupt, and yeah.
That's it. You know,
Yeah.
I think another reason why your story resonated so much with me is when I went to England initially, after about a year or so, I did a course to become a nursing assistant, care assistant. So now becoming a care assistant, I realized very quickly how lonely the life in the West can be. And as you say, sometimes you just have to give more and be more compassionate, because sometimes I would go to someone's home, and at the time I was very new to England, I was very young, I was very lonely. So I would go to someone's home to take care of them, maybe to give them breakfast. I'm supposed to come back and give the same person lunch. But what I realized is between breakfast and lunch, they were not seeing anyone, not even their neighbors. So what I used to do is, because I wasn't going to do anything else, I would ask them if they wanted me to stay. I wasn't getting paid to stay. I was getting paid for half an hour to come and give them breakfast. But I thought to myself, this person will not see another person except me for however long until I come here again. So I will spend another hour with them, because otherwise, what am I going to do? And even when I had other things to go and do, I would spend an extra 10 minutes, because then I used to give them that chat. Okay, I'm not earning any money, but what I've done is I have shown someone compassion. And that makes you feel good. But what I was going to ask you is, I know you don't want to expand your business, but have you thought about maybe consultancy, where you teach people your values? You see what I mean? Because you are someone who is very compassionate. You are someone who has principles. You are somebody who has integrity. You're not willing to grow your company just to make money. You're willing to grow your company with the same values. So I know you don't want to grow your company, and your passion is in changing lives. Why don't you teach other companies to do exactly what you're doing, especially those who are starting up in your industry?
I think that when I was elected this first entrepreneur of the year, that it was introduced the first time, and I won it in Finland. Of course, I am invited so often for these speeches and to speak and as about my experience about entrepreneur and what do I see, what kind of challenges, and what kind of advices I have for foreigners. I do that often. And do I charge it? Not all the time. I am very bad in this money thing. So yeah, but I think right now what they have done is that in my company is that there are people who have now tried to make it sure that I am not doing it for free, that every time they are sending a bill when I am doing these interviews for universities and for these events. So I think that the company is earning something out of it. But remember also, I am a politician. It is also a lot of time, because trying to make really changes that it can be that foreigners are more comfortable and foreigners are integrated and foreigners can get job. I work a lot with foreigners, people who have come from refugee. I don't charge them, but it's it is something that I am making a difference, and it is taking also a lot of my time. So, and because you know that these people who come from war and from hardship, the language, how to really integrate in a society, it takes a lot of time, and the system is not so perfect. So that you find yourself that you're giving so many advices, you're filling a lot of forms on their behalf, which benefit they are entitled to, where should they ask this help and this kind of thing, and then you find that there is really no time for you. But I feel like this speaking will be something that maybe in future I will go forward with it, because I have really enjoyed to do that, to speak and talk and explain and give advices and show the world through my eyes how it is to be a foreigner and how it is to be in Finland and what are my experiences and and this kind of thing. It is something that I will explore it later. But right now, there's just not enough of me. My customer also
what you need,
take a lot of time too.
You need to clone yourself. You need to make 4 Faizas.
Yes, and I have this kind of principle that when you do too many things at the same time, then you're not so productive anymore.
This is
true.
And so true.
Yeah. So if I start to take 5 things at the same time, this before I was like this, that I had time to see my customer every other day. Now it is sometimes once in a week, and that feels like a little bit of a letdown, because that was not the idea when I started this company. It was to spend more time with them. Yeah. So because I feel like also this politics, this speaking, these other things, these foreigner assisting foreigners, it is a toll, and also all these things I do with Kenyan, and it takes a toll of your time and energy, and it is, then you realize that you are not being so effective. You are not doing something 100% well. You are doing like a 30% good and 30% just basically surviving, and that's not the point. The point is to do good at what you have promised, and what you wanted, and what is your ideas. That if I feel like I wanted to change the healthcare, I should really try to do that until I can stop it, until I end the company. It will be a little bit of a letdown. I promise to give them a little bit of Kenyan sunshine, a little bit of time to talk, and then I don't give them that.
That's true. So I think what you're saying is, as an entrepreneur, yes, you're free to do what you want when you want, but sometimes you can be spread a bit thin, because you have so much going on. Because even just on your company level, you see, yes, you have a bookkeeper, but you still have to be involved with the bookkeeper to see what's happening on your bottom line. Yes, you have a lawyer or a mentor, but you still have to meet with your mentor and say, this is what's happening. Yes, maybe you have a group of people who might help you with helping refugees and foreigners, but you still have to be present. So you, one person, are spread so thin, you see? So the way you're saying is, if you're not careful, you might find that you have to start giving up the very thing that you wanted to do in the first place, because now everything is too much.
Yeah, you compromise on your values, and you compromise on what you believe in, and what is the point? What is the point? And I think that if I really want to do this speaking and this, of course, I can do it right now as a small hobby. Payment or no payment, but not too much. But when I feel like I have done I have enough in the healthcare, then I can maybe stop or get a partner or see how it goes. But I can tell you that how the Western life is. It's so busy, and the bureaucracy is non-stop, especially in Finland. Everything is so strict, new rules all the time you have to be aware of. You have to know all the benefits your elderly people all the time is changing. They are reducing these services, increasing, and you have to be aware of this so that you can advise your customer the best way. And then sick people, today they're healthy, tomorrow they're sick. They're healthy, they're sick. It's not like, for example, in a food restaurant, that you can know that this is a very good season and this is the time. Things really change all often. But one thing I can tell you about Finnish people is that if you get very Finnish people who accept you, then they are very loyal to you. I have people who are my customer from the beginning until now, and they have never changed the company. They are like a family to them, and they want you in their birthdays and all that, and in Christmas, and they have built a relationship with you. And when you are away, it's like there's something missing, and they're calling. And
but also you have to remember that in this life, you only get out what you give in. You've worked so hard to establish these relationships with these people. You have given above and beyond what you were being paid for. from the beginning. So of course, people are going to be drawn to you. You know what I mean? You're a nice person. You're somebody who is honest. You have integrity. You know what your values are and you stick to them. People are going to respect you and want to gravitate towards you and want to be around you, you know? I'm only, like when I read your story, I felt an affiliation towards you. But now that I've spoken to you, I literally want to be your friend. So I'm not surprised they're loyal to you.
Yeah, that is good. And I think also that I want to spend time also with my mother and my family as much I can now that I'm able to be there for them and to support them. Of course, I wanna take those moments and be with them. I don't wanna just live this so fast life. I wanna also do something in my home, and I wanna make sure they're also taken care because they're also growing older and older. I want to make sure that they're taking the right medicine, they're going for control tests and taking care of their health and these kind of things. I am in Kenya sometimes 2 times or 3 times to take them myself to the hospital and check that how things are going. And they have also visited in Finland, and we have gone even to South Africa to explore more the healthcare system, how it works.
Yes.
Because also in Kenya it's very expensive and it is just money and the value for that money in the healthcare, I don't sometimes really think it's fair.
We have a nurse, her name is Irene Ogongo. She comes here every week. She has a show on our platform on a Wednesday at 6 o'clock. And she talks to people about their rights as patients, their responsibilities as patients, what to expect when you go to the hospital, what they're trying to do. She works, her organization is called Patient Support Services Africa. What she's trying to do is educate people on their rights about the health system. In Kenya, you have the NHIF, which is a very good initiative, but many people don't know their rights within the NHIF. For 500 shillings a month, you can get care when you go into a hospital, but people don't know what hospitals to go into, what their rights are, any of this stuff. So what she does is she tries to educate people on that, and our platform is supporting her in doing that. So I feel you when you say about your relatives and especially your mom who is now aging and living in this country. But there are people here also who are trying very hard, who are working very hard to help people to understand their rights within our system. Every system has problems. Even in the UK, you have the NHS that has massive problems, you know? Old people are dying every year because they can't see a doctor on time, or their care is being mismanaged, or whatever. You know what I mean? Because many senior doctors are leaving because they're not being paid enough, you know? But if you know how to navigate whichever system, as you say, people like you who are paid to take care of people, but what you also do is you take your time to educate the people about how to access the best care they can get.
I have to say one small story is that 2 years ago, or was it 3 years ago, my uncle and her family came to visit me, and then he was sick and he went to the hospital, and it was so good that those doctor really took care of him, and he had to get a small operation and that kind of thing, and they were like, oh, you should be very happy that Faiza is here. Otherwise, it's very hard to get through this system if you don't understand it. But they treated him, and then the bill came later. So that is one thing that is nice, that you can be able to get the care first and then the money later. You know, that should be how the healthcare works. It's not about that you want the money before you take a sick care person.
That's true.
And it was not so cheap. But it was like I could pay slowly and for as long, or we could play slowly for as long as possible. So this is how we should treat people with dignity, like that. That we take care of them. But I understand we don't live in a perfect world, and things doesn't work like that.
Yes, that's so true. But I think wherever possible, it's so important to take time to appreciate those people who create that environment where we can get as easy as possible through this difficult life.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Faiza. Honestly, it was just so amazing having this chat with you. I'm in awe of you, what you've been able to achieve. I don't even know if, I'm so glad I went to England because I spoke the language. People like you who went to Finland, some people to Russia, some people to Japan. Woo! I don't even know how you've survived it, because I went to an English-speaking country and I know how hard it is to even just fit in, even in a country where you speak the same language as them, you know? So like someone like you inspires me so much. And I hope that other people hearing your story will also be inspired by it. Not just people who are abroad, who think they can't go through the system, but people who are in a place like Kenya. This is where you were born. You speak the language. You have no right to be lazy in your own country. You know, and in a lot of cases, I'm not saying everyone who doesn't do something with their life is lazy, but most people don't want to do something because I have a degree, so I can't go and do that little job. I have a degree, so I can't work in that small job, or I can't start a menial business. Like, for example, a lot of us have had to do cleaning, have had to work in restaurants, but a lot of people are not willing to pull up their sleeves and get their hands dirty, you know? They just want that office job.
Yeah, and we should try not to aspire all the time to be materialistic about life. It doesn't matter how much we have material. It matters that you're healthy and you're happy and you have people who surround yourself with good and positive energy.
That is so true. So I know that I've taken so much of your time, and I know that you're a really, really busy lady, politicking, businessing.
Yes.
I'm just going to say thank you so much for taking the time out in your schedule and joining us. And I know that this will inspire a lot of people, you know.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
But before we go, please just take a minute and talk to someone out there who might need a bit of inspiration, whether in business or whether they're just going through a really difficult time right now, but mainly business people who are either thinking of starting, who have started and are thinking of giving up. Please speak to those people.
Okay, I can try. I can say like this, that I know that sometimes life is not so easy, and I know that what we want and what we get is not always the same way. So if you really want something, and work hard to get it, and if you don't get that, work hard to even a smaller dream. It's not so much that you get so big dream, but you can get a small dream and it can change your life. And as long as you just never give up and ask around, ask for help, ask support. Let's be thoughtful to one another. Let's support one other dream if we can, and let's empathize with one another and give each other some chances. Like I was given a chance here in Finland to do my life. I know that some people are not lucky and cannot come to Europe, but I really wish that the world was a bit more like open, and I wish that the world is more kinder and allow people to really achieve their dreams. And you don't have to be in Finland or in America to do well. You can still do well in Kenya, and you can start small and you can grow big to how you want. But it is not always about the money. You know, it's always about other things, what makes you happy. If you have enough basic income and you don't have to worry about food and house and this kind of things. And those who have it, let's share it around a little bit.
So thank you so much, Faiza. I really appreciate your time. So I would like you to say to our audience, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, and thank you so much, and greetings to Fabricia.
I will say hi to her.